What up everybody, it's Amazing Haki. Welcome to part 17 to What If Deku Could Use Haki, and now let's get to the intro.
I'm not the one you wanna fuck with. Late nights messing up my sleep, so I'm flustered. Taking out aggression with my pen because I trust it. Right in front of get myself a lamb color custom. For the game, leave him hanging by his chain. Click bang, feeling rage, feeling fire in my brain, feeling sane. And it's slowly feeling flames with the frogs from my brain. Bringing more, please still, no glory.
Okay guys, last time we left off, Deku was just basically working on his moves or different types of Haki or different type of techniques that he uses while Haki, like Armament Haki's second stage where it is like the invisible force that you use, and basically the other moves that the CP9 used in One Piece. If you don't know what CP9 is, a government organization which basically trains to basically use Devil Fruit powers and Haki. So the other moves were like airwalking and I don't really know any other moves. So I don't know any other moves. So can you guys basically comment down below which moves that Deku would learn and in this period of time? And I think he would also learn it in the forest training camp. So yeah, I think because all of the emotional stress that he got in the forest training camp and all the training he's done with his observation Haki, because he's been using observation Haki for like forever, he always has it on. So he's probably going to be reaching his limit by now, and he's probably going to advance to the second stage of his armament Haki, and he probably would be able to see 5 seconds into the future. So I will give him that power, seeing 5 seconds into the future, and he basically tells everyone that my observation energy or observation Haki has increased so much, to Bakugo and Uraraka by the way. I don't think Uraraka would have it right now. I think Deku would be the first person to actually use it or get it to that level, but Uraraka, I think she would be able to concentrate on her quirk, not her observation Haki and stuff like that. She has it on most of the time, but not like the training exercise that his grandfather taught Deku, like have it all on all the time, because if you're gonna be the #1 hero, you're gonna basically be attacked and be targeted by different villains. So I'm preparing you for that day. So he basically tells Uraraka what happened with his observation Haki, and he says, I can see 5 seconds into the future. And Uraraka is surprised, like, seriously, that means I can see 5 seconds into the future when I basically learn how to use my observation Haki to an even more better level, like advanced observation Haki. Is like, yeah, you can probably do that, and maybe even more than that, maybe 10 seconds, 20 minutes, or more than that. So let's say, just for the sake of Bakugo just want to beat Deku and in Haki and all other forms of areas, so he'd probably already learn the invisible Haki, and Deku would probably go to Bakugo and learn how to use the invisible Haki. So, and Rimuru, I think that's what his name was, not Rimuru, Ryo, his grandfather, he would know the invisible Haki because he's pretty strong. So Bakugo was like, no, I'm not telling you how to use it. So he's like, oh fine, I'll just go to my grandpa. And he goes to his grandfather, and basically his grandfather basically teaches him how to use the invisible Haki. His grandfather's probably integrated into the society now with all this technology around him. He's probably uses like, so we can get like daily news on the TV now. Great. And basically he would ask him, is like, oh grandpa, do you know how to use that invisible Haki thing? And he's like, oh sure, I'll give you some pointers. And he does end up learning it in this week. And now let's get to the provisional licensing exam, or the professional licensing exam. I think it's called the provisional licensing exam. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is called the provisional licensing exam. So let's move on. So they get there. Aizawa basically doesn't really warn them that every single school over there will be targeting them, because everyone in the world thinks UA is the best hero school ever because All Might went there. So everybody wants to show up UA in this test, so that's why UA always gets targeted in this test. So he doesn't really tell them. And then the other schools basically arrive, and they're basically that kid with the Sonic quirk, I think it was trying to basically target people by touching them and basically like saying like, oh thank you, and when he would basically do a handshake with them, he'd probably like put a target on them. And then Deku would see this coming because he has that observation Haki all the time, and he would basically just jump back and dodging his handshake. He's like, whoa, I just thought somebody was gonna attack me for a second. I don't know, but he just basically removes it off, and then he tries to take a handshake again, but he dodges again because he senses that again. He's like, oh, somebody tried to use my quirk, somebody tried to use their quirk on me again. And he's like, oh, maybe not. And he basically walks away because his basically charade was gonna come crumbling down if Deku actually figured out that he was gonna use his quirk on him. So he just thought to basically leave the class alone because his charades will, or his plan will basically get ruined. So they get there. The first test is to basically take down as many people until there are only 100 students left, or yeah, 100 students left, and it's basically by taking or targeting their those spots on their body that they have with those balls. And basically the whirlwind guy basically throws all of his balls down towards, and he basically takes down about 200 people instantly. Deku, thankfully, he dodges every single one of them. Baku also dodges them barely, and Uraraka also does it because she has observation haki. Deku and basically Uraraka are basically fighting everyone with their observation haki. Uraraka gets attacked, and basically it's not Uraraka, it's Toga, and basically Deku. I don't think Toga was actually captured by Deku. Let's say Toga did get away. So Toga was the only person that wasn't basically taken by Deku in the forest training camp. So Toga is after Deku because she really likes Deku. So when she basically transformed into Uraraka and she got attacked, Deku immediately noticed something was weird, but he still jumped in to help her. And then she basically tried to sneak attack him while basically touching his whatever the spots are. And then basically he just hits the ball away and says, "Who are you? You're not Uraraka, because if you were, you would have dodged those attacks." And she basically turns back into Toga, and then she basically attacks Deku and just runs away. And Deku, instead of following her, because she was completely naked and she doesn't really have those spots on her clothes anymore, so it's basically hopeless to basically run after her. So Shiro comes there, Uraraka actually does, and he basically tells him there was a fake Uraraka and she was naked and stuff. So basically they move on. Deku basically completes the test immediately. Todoroki, everyone that completed the first stage passes. Second stage, they have to rescue all those people, all the buildings, all the structures in the area start crumbling down, and they basically help, or whatever, civilian team, or this company that basically trains villains to help them how to like talk to people and save them. So they basically get down there and they basically use tomato sauce instead of actual blood. Fake blood, by the way. And basically whoever gets 50% in that test and below, they basically immediately fail, and whoever gets above that, they pass and move on to the final stage. So Deku does, everybody does. Bakugo doesn't. He still move on to the final stage because they still want to test and find out who is the next generation's best heroes and who are they gonna be. So through this test they do find that out, and they explain why they actually let the people that failed in the second stage to move on to the final stage and still do it. So yeah, as soon as the second stage is finished, now everybody's basically going to the healing place and basically dropping them off, and whoever's basically has a healing quirk and stuff like that, they help everyone over there. And then they basically say the third stage is about to commence, and everybody's shocked, like, wait, we haven't even finished the second stage. And he basically says, okay, villains come out, and the villains come out, and it's Gang Orca, and he's with his gang and everything, and they start attacking people. And then the announcer basically tells them, this is the situation where you decide which type of hero are you. Are you going to protect the people and save them and stay with them, or are you going to be the person who actually goes up and fights the villains and stop them from attacking the passengers or whatever, civilians, or are you the person who just runs away? And everybody that thinks there are like the fighting type Bakugo, Todoroki, and the whirlwind dude who has the whirlwind quirk, they basically go over to the Gang Orca and basically attack them. Deku is a basically protector, so he protects the people and basically takes them out of harm. Then Todoroki and that whirlwind guy, they have a really bad connection with each other because Todoroki was really rude to him when he was basically trying out for the recommended test for UA, so they have like really bad blood between each other. And then he basically doesn't want to cooperate with Todoroki in the fight, so they basically end up messing up, and they basically divert their attack to some civilians over there, not civilians, but another hero, and Deku ends up saving them. And Deku basically yells at them, it's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to work together. Your quirks basically unite together and make each other stronger. And they basically get what they were doing, and they were like, oh my god, we're gonna fail if we don't work together, and what's wrong with us? And they basically start combining their attacks. Wind against fire makes the fire stronger, and this basically helps the fight. And Gang Orca is basically surrounded by this whirlwind of fire. And the other one that has the sonic boom attack, he also does this, and basically trapping or creating an earthquake to break the ground underneath Gang Orca, and basically his legs are trapped now and he can't get out there, and he basically picks up a water bottle and basically squirts on him, and the fire basically goes out, and the last minute Deku basically comes in there, attacks him, and he breaks his gauntlet, but that's and everybody else just passed, and they basically go to the final stage, not the final stage, they go to the ceremony where they basically announce who passed and who didn't. They basically bring up the scores. Bakugo and Todoroki are, and the Whirlwind dude, they're the only people that didn't pass, and all the other students, they did pass. Okay, so after that, Deku basically gets his license, or provisional license, so he's actually allowed to go outside and help villains and not allowed to use his quirk because he has this license now. So he's really happy and stuff like that. So he's probably gonna start working tomorrow after that, and he basically messages and texts and sends the image of the license to All Might, and All Might's really happy. He's like, good job, kid. And then that's it. Hope you guys like, because it really does help the channel. I recommend my channel to the YouTube algorithm, and the YouTube algorithm basically recommends my videos to every one of you guys and future fans that are gonna come and join the family. And now make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and as always, Anime Junkie out.